Hello, freak bitches. You know, and I think that's one of the things that I've been guilty of, and I know a lot of other people have been guilty of it too, just to totally come clean. I defend pot so much that I never look at the potential negative consequences of people doing pot if they're too young. Because I didn't do it when I was young. I mean, I did a few times. Maybe like a handful of times before I was 30. And then when I was 30, I met Eddie Bravo, and we started getting blazed all the time, and it just
really
changed the entire way I looked at pot.
I smoked pot was 14.
Well, I definitely smoked it younger than that. I smoked it when I was 8. My stepdad gave me some when I was 8, just a puff, because I was curious. I was like, what happens when you do it? He goes, do you want to try it? I said, how much should I breathe in? He goes, don't breathe in a lot. Just breathe in a little bit. This is obviously like sketchy memory. I did it once when I was 8. Right. And then the next time I did it, I was probably like 14. And then I did it probably maybe again when I was 17.
I did it about 14 when we cut school, and some of the kids, a couple of kids that were the cool guys that I, kind of took a liking to me, and I was like, cool, the cool kids like me, I'm gonna go hang out with these dudes. And they smoke weed, and I remember I hit it, and they would tell me like, have you ever smoked weed? No, I never smoked weed. Nothing might happen to you the first time, but I remember vividly hitting this joint with these dudes and literally spending probably an hour and 30 minutes laughing my balls off at nothing. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And from then on, I quit baseball. I quit Pop Warner football.
No.
I became an artist.
Well,
I started drawing and painting on walls. I was like, I was a different person. That changed my life. Weed is another thing that's probably semi-responsible for my path.
I had a very important moment when I was 16. Like, I had only smoked weed a handful of times before I was 30 years old. Like, less than 12, like, legitimately. And one time when I was 16, it was me and my girlfriend and my best friend. We went over her house, and I had stole some weed from my stepdad. And we'd rolled up a joint. And we got so high, we were teleporting. We would like find ourselves in the kitchen.
Astroplaning type shit?
We'd all be staring at each other on the couch, and then all of a sudden we'd be in the backyard. We were barbecued. We were fucking 16. I think my girlfriend at the time was 15, and Josh was my age. He was 16, and we were just time traveling all over the fucking building. We were way too high.
That's how I described the first and only time I ever smoked dust.
Oh, Jesus, you did that?
Well, I hung out with, like, when I was, one of the neighborhoods I moved into.
Is there a fucking gateway drug to dust? And tell me what it is.
Yes, it's called Cholos.
So did they go Cholos. Did they go right from Diet Pepsi to dust?
I don't know.
Like,
here's my story. As I moved onto this street called Independence Avenue in the Valley. It's like West Valley, kind of DeSoto, Sherman Way-ish. And it was heavily Latino neighborhood, and like we moved in, and it was cool. I mean, like I came friends with a lot of people, but like I went from like the end of elementary school into junior high, right in that era. So like once we hit the junior high, it's like a lot of the Mexican kids I was hanging out with started hanging out with the little bit older Mexican kids, and a lot of them were dealing in like kind of gang life over there. It's just part of the way they get down, and a lot of them like to fucking do dips, which is like a fucking Sherm cigarette dipped in a motherfucking angel dust.
Sounds like a healthy choice,
dude. It's how I wound up with this little tattoo right here. First tattoo I ever had in my life. This little 3 dots. Normally it's supposed to be up here, but I wasn't in the gang.
Oh, and
so it's like for some reason I was so fucked up. This is what wound up. I mean, this represents what they call mi vida loca. It's like little 3 dots here, but it's like that happened because I smoked dust. Because these dudes passed me the Sherm. I didn't really know what I was. I was like this, bang, and literally the way you just described that time traveling, it was like I felt like if I thought of something to do, by the time I was finished with the thought of thinking to do it, I had already done it. I'm gonna call my mom. Goodbye, mom. You know, it's like that kind of thing. Like it was like fucking nuts. I fucking never experienced anything like that. I was terrified. God. I was terrified. I didn't know what the fuck's going on. You know, it was almost like, you know what? It gave me a lot of feelings. Is if you remember the first Friday movie, when Chris Tucker reflects on like somebody snuck him a little piece of dust and he fucking I didn't lose my mind naked, all that shit, but I feel like I was the butt of a joke that night. Like somebody gave me some dust. It was like, let's watch fucking the white boy fucking trip on dust all night.
Jesus,
you know what
Christ.
I mean? But it made for a good story on Joe Rogan. So now we're even.